Hello everyone. Today I'd like to introduce to you Anatole. Anatole, say hi. Anatole is going to be our guest to understand better our anatomy. And the reason being, we find that it makes it easier for you to understand what we're supposed to do during the exercises that we recommend. We would like to talk first about the turnout because we get a lot of questions about turnout. And before we get into the exercises on how to create, improve, and maintain your turnout, let's look into how and where the turnout is created. From a bone structure first. From a bone structure, it starts at the hip. I guess you all know that from now. The hips is made of two parts, right and left hip bone, that are fused here at the front, at the pubic symphysis, your pubic bone. At the back, they're not fused together, your hips. They are connected to your sacrum and coccyx, which means the base of your spine. Very important to understand how your hips can affect your spine and how your spine can affect your hip placement. Back to the front. Here on the side, you get a socket here. And that socket is the acetabulum in which your femur, your thigh, gets inserted. As you can see, it's a ball and socket type of joint, which means you can actually do anything you want as a type of movement. You can do internal rotation, external rotation. You can do flexion, you can do extension, and you can do that very cool movement, horizontal abduction and adduction. And you can do circumduction. Everything basically. That's a pretty cool joint here. You do not have that screw, don't worry. The femur shape and the acetabulum angle can limit your turnout, and that's why it's important to have that visual. How? The femur shaft can be slightly rotated in and out. So here your knee, from this angle, could be slightly in or out depending on that torsion of that shaft. That neck here, the neck here, can be angled vertically or more horizontally. Will also affect your turnout. And the second thing that is a bit difficult to understand is the direction of the neck of your hip, of your femur, can be slightly forward or slightly back. And depending on that, you will be able, if you're already here, you see, you would not have much ability to turn out, but you have a lot of ability to turn in. If you are on the opposite, slightly forward, then you have more range on both directions. So if you have questions about your real turnout ability from a bone structure, I would recommend that you go and see a physician, because there are tests that we can make, or even scans if it's really a big question. But there are tests that we can do that are not intrusive to understand how your hip is made of, so that you can understand if your limitation in your turnout is from a bone standpoint and there's not much you can do about it, or if luckily it's not and it's just muscle and your muscular connections that needs to be worked on.